wonderful morning to you and welcome to Sport Talk right here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael and I'm glad to be here this morning to take you through the happenings in the world of sport this morning. Top on our menu, Nigeria powerlifter set world record in Cairo. Coming in from the world of tennis, British tennis stars end season early. The world of football, European top leagues resume tonight with exciting fixtures. Details of this and many more will come your way shortly after this time out. Yeah, welcome back from that short break this morning, and Kingsley is here. Together we'll be taking a look at the interesting sporting gist that we have for you this morning on the show. Kingsley, good morning and welcome to Sport Talk.
Mike, thanks very much for having me. The weekend is here and club football makes a return. Of course, it promises to be another interesting weekend. Thanks for having me.
All right, it promises to be yet another interesting weekend because the leagues across the globe will come alive this weekend, starting from today. And of course, football fans will be most excited because the international break is over and the leagues are set to resume hostility this weekend. But before we head to the leagues, let's talk about other sports this morning because Nigeria powerlifter Folashade Oluwafemi Ayo broke her own world record to win gold in the women's over 86 kg category at the 2025 World Powerlifting Championship in Cairo, lifting 168 kg to surpass her previous record of 167 kg set at the Paris 2024 Paralympics. This marks her fourth world title and the fifth appearance at the World Championship. With the previous gold in 2017, 2019, and 2021, the Cairo victory is especially historic as it is the first World Championship held in Africa. Oluwafemi Ayo's career reflects resilience and dominance, overcoming suspensions, pregnancies, and setbacks to become a two-time Paralympic champion and multiple world record holder. China's Kuzi and Iran's Niko Zahani finished second and third, respectively. So Kingsley was an impressive outing for Oluwafemi Ayo. She has been a consistent performer for Nigeria right from 2017. Despite the setback of pregnancy suspension, yet whenever she's fit to represent Nigeria, she's always very ready to put us at the global map. Another history making a win for her yet again.
Yeah, impressive one, of course, for Oluwafemi Ayo. She's been in the game for a very long time, and for me, really, really impressive. As a stand, really, really impressive, and that's why, of course, Mike, I've been clamoring for, our para athlete to be properly taken care of. Because whenever you give them the opportunity, they come up to live up to expectation. As a stand, they do not come up with excuses or disappointment, or you see them coming up with awful, performance. They always live up to expectation. One of them, of course, the lady we're talking about, Oluwafemi Ayo. Take a look at, how she was able to, perform after going through, so many setbacks, of course, in her career. But she still has that courage. She still has that high level of confidence, to be able, of course, to put Nigeria on the global scene once again. So for me, really, really impressive. And you ask yourself, how should this, athlete be taken care of? I think, for me, proper attention should be given to them. Maybe you want to say more than the able-bodied athlete, because they've done well. They've done better than the able-bodied athlete. You talk about racking up medals. I think they've racked up more medals than the able-bodied athletes in competitions like this. So for me, I think at this point in time, we must have to, turn our attention and see what we can do, for para sports, in the country. How can we take para sports in the country, to another level? When you talk about powerlifting, Nigerians are always up there. It's always difficult for you to see tournaments where Nigeria at least do not come top, in powerlifting. They are always up there, at every point in time, and that's why we should also, take a look at the powerlifting federation. How should the government, of course, support them, because they've always been living up to expectation, and at every point in time. So this is a good one. We just hope that, of course, they continue to make Nigerians, proud.
Impressive outing for Oluwafemi Ayo, a consistent performer, resilient, dedicated, passionate about, putting Nigeria's name on the map, global map rather, whenever she's called to duty. Another, record for her, breaking her own record that she set in the last outing out there in Paris Olympic. Impressive one. We hope that the National Sport Commission is going to, of course, reward her. Then you talk about Mr. President, because we've seen a massive reward coming the ways of other sportsmen and women in different sporting angle whenever they go out there to do us proud. The para-athletes, they've done exceedingly well above their able-bodied counterpart, just like you heard from Kingsley. They have amassed massive medals in the global community. In fact, whenever they go out to represent the country, you never hear of any challenges. Despite the obstacle, they don't complain. They still go out there and perform at the highest level, bringing back laurels to the country. So I think special attention, just like Kingsley said, should be given to the para-athletes because of their resilience and dedication, patriotism to Nigeria. Away from that, President of the Judo Federation of Nigeria, Dr. Musa Oshodi, and the Gymnastics Federation of Nigeria, Kelvin Erumwuse, have urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene over alleged electoral interference by the Director General of National Sport Commission, Bukola Olakpade. The two federations had accused Olakpade of meddling in their internal affairs, claiming that a recent intervention by the NSC in federation's election undermine autonomy and could harm Nigeria's global sports reputation. Their complaint follows NSC's annulment of elections in the judo, gymnastic, and shooting federations, ordering fresh polls for October 18th. Earlier, the NSC had also postponed the Boxing Federation's election, and they demanded Congress review to address a constitutional and ineligibility issues in that very regard. So it's been complained there is never a time in this country, Kingsley, where election will be conducted and everybody will feel satisfied. There will always be this battle for, people accusing one another in what they would term as electoral fraud, sham, shenanigan, or whatnot. At a time where we are expecting the National Sports Commission to, of course, set the pace, they are now being accused of trying to, shortchange the process. How will this, how does this tell to the outside world when we are expecting the NSC to be a neutral body? But now they are being engulfed and roped around the accusation of trying to meddle into the internal affairs of different federations. Is this a good image for the NSC?
It's not a good one at all, Mike. It's not really a good one. I think, just like you mentioned, the National Sports Commission should be a neutral body, mediating, into the affairs of some of these, federation fairly, not taking side, at this point in time. If what the president of the Judo and Gymnastic Federation are saying, if what they're saying is true, I think it's not a good one. Olakpade, of course, I think he knows enough to know what to do, at this point in time, not taking side, because you understand what's, how sport has been. What we need now is people who are credible, people who can as well do the job, not based on appointment or maybe because, okay, this person, that's why, of course, you'll be given the position. No, this election, it should be fair and fair. It's not an appointment. It's not a position that you appoint somebody. You say, because I know this person, yes, let me allow this person win, or let this person take over. That's not how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to let the minds of the people, to take center stage, not mediating and trying to, twist things. That is not what we need, of course, in sports down here in Nigeria. Sports in Nigeria, of course, has been, as experience should, setback because of some of these things. The government interfering in elections like this, I think, for me, is not good. That is what has also brought or made the Basketball Federation to be where it is today. Power Tozu, Iguchi Mark and Musa Kida are fighting for so many years and all of that. And this is where the federation, of course, is. Basketball is not that vibrant, of course, in the country. So for me, I think at this point in time, it's not good. I just hope that Shehu Diko will look into this himself and see how to put things right. You talk about the Judo Federation, the Gymnastic Federation. These are even federations that are not even doing that much, especially when it comes to global competition. So we need people there that can possibly, of course, elevate or revive that federation so that we can possibly have those that will represent. You talk about gymnastic. Which of the gymnasts can we point our fingers and say, okay, say this person is a good gymnastic in the country? I don't think we have. The last time we had a gymnast at the Olympics, I think that was in 2020 Olympics, or had a gymnast, it wasn't even
based here,
in Nigeria, and at the end of the day, the young man tried his best, but since then, I don't think we've gotten the gymnast, as it stands. So for me, I don't think it's a good one. Shehu Diko should just see how to make sure that, these things goes well and we have the right people, in place, because if we continue like this, I think it will continue to bring setback, to our sports.
Still talking about setback in sports, if the National Sports Commission should not live above boards to, of course, see into the affairs of a free, fair, credible election in other different sporting federations. Now, these persons, the actors, both in the Judo and the Gymnastic Federation, are accusing the NSC boss, calling on Mr. President, who it's a political head to come and meddle or settle the affairs of sports. Don't you think that it might land us in trouble? Because we've seen a situation whereby political actors try to meddle into sport. They suffer major ban from international community.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think some of our federation has actually suffered, setback or being banned due to things like this. I think you could mention the Rugby Federation. There was an issue, with the Rugby Federation down here in Nigeria, and I think they were banned, for some years. And for me, it's not a good one, for Nigerian sport, like I mentioned, when, of course, things cannot be properly done, so that we can look forward to see how, the sport, can grow. These are things that we don't want to see at this point, especially at this stage where our sports, of course, is not really yielding fruits. So taking this matter to the president, I think it's not supposed to be. I don't even think the president might even pay much attention to it, because he has actually appointed people that will look into these affairs, which is Shehu Diko and Bukola Olapade, at this point in time. And these are the people now that are now trying to twist things. So it becomes more difficult at this point. So I don't know how it's going to look like. We just hope that, things will be done peacefully. Shehu Diko and Olapade, they should, of course, be able to put up high level of transparency, and no matter who is at stake, no matter who is their friend, brother, or whoever, we need credible people. We need people that, that people think that, oh, this person can do the job very well. Not carrying people, oh, because this person is your friend or is your brother, you now decide to appoint the person or say, okay, he should win the election, all right, so that it will favor you at the end of the day. But at the end, it's detrimental to the progress of the federation. So for me, I think whatever is going on, for Shehu Diko and his colleague not to be in trouble or not to dent the image of Nigerian sports, I think they should just do the right thing.
Do the right thing, that is the key word, although it is an allegation, not yet proven, but then when accusing fingers begin to point to direction of somebody that's supposed, or person that's supposed to be a neutral body, then it doesn't really speak good. Like I said, it is an allegation. It has not been proven. But we see how all of this will go. What we want is peace, so that our sport can move forward. Let's head straight to the world of boxing, because I can tell you that Tyson Fury has set his sights on a trilogy bout with Alexander Usyk rather than a long-awaited all-British showdown with Anthony Joshua. His promoter has revealed. Frank Warren said the former WBC heavyweight title holder is eyeing a return to the ring next year and remains focused on avenging his two defeats to undisputed heavyweight champion Fury, who announced his fifth retirement in January, suffered the only two defeats of his career professionally to Alexander Usyk in 2024, losing both bouts on point. The two heavyweight stars have been on a collision course since their emergence in 2010, but have failed to settle their differences despite several attempts to make the bout happen. Usyk's last bout came in July when he defeated Daniel Dubois at the Wembley Stadium, but other heavyweights, including Joseph Parker and Ajit Kabayel, are also waiting in the wings for their shots at the Ukrainian. So the controversial Alexander Usyk is hoping to relaunch yet another onslaught against Alexander Usyk. After retiring, he comes back, comes back, more like very inconsistent. But then there was this talk that some boxing fans want to see all British bout between him and Anthony Joshua, but both of these boxers have fallen down in terms of their stocks. All right, so instead of thinking about taking on Anthony Joshua, he's thinking about a revenge against a man that have floored him twice. Do you think that this is the right step for him come next year? Or you think that you should just go for maybe Anthony Joshua, who is not that in form, and see how to maybe revive his career back.
For first, going to fight Alexander Usyk now at this point in time is a very dangerous one for Usyk career. A man who has beaten you twice. All right, so you should be very careful. Heading down for a trilogy. What if you're being beaten again and then you retire again and go back? It looks so very, very. It will look embarrassing. As to stand for Alexander Usyk. Fighting Usyk now, I don't think that should be what Fury should have in mind, because for what I'm seeing, he might be beaten again. For a man who is just there resting, I don't know if he has been training since he said he has retired. I don't know if he has been active and all of that. Coming out to fight Alexander Usyk, who of course has not relented in terms of fighting. He has not retired. I believe, of course, since he's still active, he will still be training, and all of that. I think it's going to be a dangerous one for Fury at this point in time. He might, of course, be beaten for the third time, and that would be a very, very huge dent, of course, to his career, knowing that this man Fury was undefeated before he met Alexander Usyk, and he was beaten. Usyk, of course, have to bring him down twice, and now he wants to go back to fight Usyk again. I don't. For me, if he has been active, maybe we've seen him. Maybe since after that defeat against Usyk, he has probably maybe taken 1 or 2, 3, 4, bouts, and of course he emerged victorious and all of that. Because okay, maybe Fury is now fit, of course, to face Usyk at this point in time. So, but the man has been resting, so you just want to come out and fight a man who has beaten you twice, just like that. I don't think that might be possible. I think for me, what we should look out for, what you should be looking out for now, you should just come out, stage that fight against Anthony Joshua, bag a lot of money, and go back and retire if you want to retire again. Because I know that is a bout that so many persons, of course, have been anticipating. A lot of persons want to see Fury and Joshua, in the ring. And I tell you, if that happens, there will be a lot of money in the bank. Both boxers will, of course, gain big time, because there's a lot of expectation. Fans want to see. People will pay tickets. A lot of media houses want to subscribe to stream that particular one, and they make a lot of money, of course, for themselves at the end of the day. So for me, I understand that both boxers, they've actually not been living up to expectation. That hype, the way it was before, is not the way it is. Oh, we want to see Joshua and Fury fight, and all of that. But even though they stage that fight today, people will still be interested to see, of course, who comes top between Joshua, and Fury, and they make a lot of money. And I think for me, that's the fight Fury should be looking out for at this point in time. Come back, stage that fight, even though you've been beaten or you defeat Anthony Joshua, you know that a lot of money, you go back home with a lot of money, then you can, then if you say you want to retire, then going to struggle to say you want to fight, what's his name, Alexander Usyk. Don't forget, even though he goes to fight Alexander Usyk will be the man to earn more. Yeah. Yes, he will be the man to earn more. And what if he earns more and beats you again? It could be very, very embarrassing. So for me, I think Fury should tread carefully at this point in time. He should try as much as he can to take a look at it and see which one is good enough for him. But I think, the bout between him and Anthony Joshua will be a good one at this moment.
All right, the Gypsy King trade with caution. That is the advice coming from Kingsley. The fight that would be most suitable for you should be that of all British bouts between you and your brother, British-born Nigerian boxer, Anthony Joshua. But then going for Alexander Usyk might just be a boon on the neck for you. But then we'll see how it goes. Still talking boxing on the show this morning. British Nigerian heavyweight boxer Moise Tuema has been told he must await his return of Kubrat Purev in that very bout. The WBA regular boxer has been advised to wait until Massive in Dubai on December 24th. All right, more boxing stories will come your way in the evening, but at this point, let's take a quick break. When we are back, we'll dive straight to the world of football, rather.
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
All right, you're welcome back from that short break. Let's dive straight to other sports this morning. But then don't forget, in the first half of the show, we told you how Oluwafemi Ayo continued to break grounds in the powerlifting. We also brought you a story from the world of boxing, how The Gypsy King is trying to, of course, build up a trilogy bout against the heavyweight title holder, talking about the Ukrainian Alexander Usyk. But then let's talk one more story from the world of tennis before we head straight to the world of football. Can tell you that British Emma Raducanu has ended her 2025 season early, withdrawing from her final two tournaments in Tokyo and Hong Kong due to illness and a recurring setback problem. A 22-year-old who retired mid-March in Wuhan and struggled again in Ningbo will return home to recover before preparing for the 2026 season. Raducanu will continue working with a coach, Francisco Rig, a former coach of Rafael Nadal, after a successful trial and partnership this year. Despite finishing the season with 3 straight defeats, she enjoyed a stronger comeback here, winning 28 matches, breaking back into the top 30 in the world and reaching the Miami Open quarterfinal and the Washington semi-final. So good one for Emma Raducanu. She has decided to drop her racket and prepare for next year because of some niggling injury problems. We'll see how it goes for her. But then, despite losing her last 2 games, she has finished the year very strong, moving up to world number 30. Let's talk football on the show this morning, starting from the home scene, because Aqua United have embarked on a close camping session ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigeria National League season. The Promise Keepers player and technical crew held their first training session on Thursday at the Eket Stadium. Eket, a camping exercise will focus primarily on drills and tactical play. Paul of Force side are expected to feature in preseason matches to fine-tune their strategies for the new campaign. Aqua United are aiming for an immediate return to the Nigerian Premier Football League following their relegation last season. The new NNL season is scheduled to commence on Saturday, November 8th, 2025. So Kingsley, the Promise Keeper, they are doing everything possible to fine-tune and get ready for the NNL season, which is set to kick off very soon. But then one angle about Aqua United is that they got relegated last season, and Paul Ofo has been drafted in. Do you think that they can find their way back into the top flight division as early as possible?
I think we just have to keep our fingers crossed. A team like Aqua United, is very big, to remain in the MPF, in the NNL. I think we should see an immediate return, for Aqua United, because you take a look at, the fact that they are well sponsored, everything is being given to them, they have the ground and all of that. So seeing a team like Aqua United in the Nigerian National League, for me, it's not a good one. I understand the NNL, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be there, all right? So, but, Aqua United, for me, I think, that is not where they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be, in the MPFL fighting. This is a team that has won the league title before. They've maintained some high level of dominance. So I think with what they've done, already, they will possibly, of course, bounce back. I think there have been massive, preparation this time around. Don't forget the sport commissioner Paul Bassi, have to, sack so many persons, and of course they have to bring their new management to come see the affairs of the team. So I believe with the new management in, I think they will be on their toes to want to make sure that they get things right immediately as possible. Either Paul Bassi wants to make sure that Aqua United returns, to the Nigerian Premier Football League, no matter what. So I think when you take a look at it, they are well prepared, and now they've gotten into closed section. So you could see that it's a team that is really, really focused on bouncing back to the MPFL. So we just look forward to see, how the NNL, season will look like for Aqua United.
We hope Aqua United can find their way back into the top flight division. It's been seasons of struggle for them. Don't forget, earlier before last season, they actually struggled and escaped being relegated on the last day of the game. Then last season, they couldn't also escape, and that is why they were relegated. This time around, they've started an early preparation ahead of the kickoff of the Nigerian National League. We hope that they can be able to find their footing back into the top flight division. Let's still talk about other Nigerian Premier Football League stories, because the Nigerian Premier Football League has imposed a fine of 1 million naira on clubs that failed to reorient their ball boys against time wasting during matches. Chief Operating Officer of the NPFL, Davison Owumi, stated this in a circular address to all clubs. Owumi noted that the act will be regarded as a misconduct, punishable under the NPFL framework and rules. He reiterated that the league body remains committed to maintaining the integrity of the Nigerian Premier Football League at all times. So the ball boy delaying balls during the course of a match, Kingsley, is one that is so frustrating, especially when they are winning by a lone goal or 2 goals to 1. And the ball boys, sometimes when the ball comes their way, they even decide to hide the ball and waste time. It could be frustrating for the opposing opponent. But then with this move, you think it's a nice one to address that issue of time, unnecessary time wasting?
Yeah, it's really a nice one. In Europe, you don't see this kind of thing. It's only in Nigerian football you hear that ball boys delaying, the ball, delaying sending the ball, of course, into the pitch for game, of course, to continue. It's not really, of course, a good one, as a stand. And for me, I think it's a good one that the league body have to come out, of course, to talk about this. Fine 1 million naira if that, of course, is being spotted in your stadium, at the end of the day. These are tactics that some teams, have been using, to delay games, and all of that, and to frustrate their opponents. And I think for me, it is not a professional art. It shouldn't be done so that, of course, we can have a fair game, at the end of the day. 1 million naira fine, I think for me, is a good one. You know that when your ball boys, do not release the ball in time, you stand a chance of, paying 1 million naira. So you take a look at it, you calculate 1 million naira in how many match days, of course, we have. It's not that you pay a huge amount of money. So I think it will really curb that situation of the ball boys in the stadium delaying, gameplay.
All right, we'll see how this one is going to curb the unnecessary delays from ball boys, because it's affecting the league. I tell you, it doesn't allow the game to flow as it ought to. All right, let's dive straight to the Super Eagles and bring you some stories from that angle, because defender Semi Ajayi will miss Nigeria's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup African Playoff semi-final against Gabon due to card suspension. The Hull City centre-back received his second yellow card of the qualifying campaign during Tuesday's 4-0 bashing of Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Ajayi had earlier been booked on match day 1 against Lesotho, and as a result, will sit out of the semi-final tie in the playoff. The 31-year-old scored Nigeria's only goal in the draw against Benin. He will, however, be ineligible for selection should the Super Eagles advance to the final of the African playoff. Nigeria will face Gabon in the semi-final Thursday, November 13th. While Cameroon and DR Congo will contest the other last 4 encounter in the playoff far away in Morocco. Kingsley, do you think that is a major setback for the Super Eagles during the playoff, or you think that we have adequate cover for Semilogo Ajayi?
I think we will. I just pray that, before then, Alolu Aina, I just pray that he will recover, from injury, because I don't know how long that is injury, of course, will last, at this point in time. Looking at the fact that we don't have Aina, all right, and we're now missing Simi, I don't think it will be a good one, at this point in time. We understand where we have Ekong, we have, what's his name again, Kevin Bassey, who, of course, are main defenders at any point in time. But missing Aina and as well the likes of Simi, that will really, really affect, of course, the defense. I also understand we have the likes of, is it Bright Osayi Samuel as well, who is also a formidable defender. But I think last time, of course, he was injured. That's why, of course, he was not included in the last phase of the qualifiers. So those two players, not having them, Aina and Simi, will really affect, the defense line of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But I don't know, like I mentioned, I don't know how long Ololu and Aina will have to stay, before recovering. We understand, of course, he has to undergo, surgery and all of that. So I think the absence of Simi and if Aina is not back as well, will really affect, the defense. But let's just see what Eric Chell will be able to do. I think this is a time where he has to keep his eyes on ground and see where he can possibly get, a good defender to, of course, get the job done.
All right, a big, worry for Eric Chell because Olaina is a right back and not a central defender. Shemilogo Ajayi is a central defender. We have just the captain of the side, William Truss Ekong, and Calvin Bassey. It's a very big, problem for the Super Eagles. But then we hope that the Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell can probably find a possible replacement in that very central defensive role. Still talking about the Super Eagles, former Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Said Ida has issued a warning to Eric Chell's side ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff clash with Gabon in November. Peter Said noted that Gabon are an emerging force in African football, much like Cape Verde, who have already qualified for the 2026 World Cup. Both Nigeria and Gabon are set to meet in the playoff after failing to secure automatic qualification. Speaking with a soccer beat, Peter Said said Super Eagles should assert their superiority and demonstrate that they remain one of the continent's best footballing giants if they truly want to qualify for the World Cup. So a clarion call and a serious warning for the Super Eagles coming from ex-goalkeeper Peter Said that they should tread with caution against Gabon because to him, he ranked Gabon as a footballing emerging nation just like Cape Verde that have already qualified for the World Cup. This is a very timely advice for Eric Chell.
Definitely. It's a crucial game against Gabon. In fact, if you take a look at the teams there, Gabon, Morocco, Gabon, Cameroon, and DR Congo, they're a strong side. You don't underrate any of the team. All right, so it's not about Super Eagles being well ranked or something at this point. It's we getting the job done, when it matters most. And you take a look at the run of Gabon, so far in the qualifiers. Despite they didn't qualify automatically, they had an impressive performance. So it's not something that the Super Eagles of Nigeria should just go in there and say it's not Gabon we're playing and you underrate them. Aubameyang has been talking, since they made the playoff. He said they want to qualify, they want to make it, of course, they want to play, he wants to play at the World Cup and all of that. So you could see that they are determined. Gabon won't just sit down for you to just come and score them. They will also fight. They also want to go to the World Cup. Yeah. All right. So it's going to be a very tough one, and I believe that Eric Chell and his men they know what is at stake at this point in time. If they don't make it to the World Cup, they know what will come after them. Nigerians will of course really be on their neck, and all of that. So we have to go to the World Cup. We didn't participate at the World Cup last time. Yeah. So whatever we need to do to get there, the boys and the coach, they have to deliver at the end of the day.
Boys and the coach have to deliver at the end of the day, but timely call, timely advice coming in from former international Peter Said to the Super Eagles and the coach ahead of their African playoff that comes up in November 13th to be precise. I tell you, Gabon, they're also very hungry, and the ever reliable hitman Bamoyang has also been talking to, just like you heard from Kingsley. Let's head straight to the Under-20 World Cup because Argentina and Morocco are set for the final clash of the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup after the Albiceleste edged Colombia 1-0 in their semi-final game yesterday. Argentina's victory is thanks to Matthew Civarti's 74th minute strike and a crucial red card that left the Colombians a man down late at Estadio Nacional de Santiago Stadium. With a victory, Morocco will on Monday, October 20th, battle for the championship with Argentina, who is reaching final for the 8th time in history. It's going to be a serious battle. Morocco against Argentina. Argentina, Kingsley, have a massive reputation when it has to do with the Under-20 World Cup. And the one that will quickly come to your mind is the 2005 edition, where Nigeria also, failed to their fair power. Morocco against a reputable Argentine side. Where are you drumming your support, despite the fact that you're an Africa? But then, let's be realistic. If you take a look at the strength of the Argentine vis-a-vis that of the Moroccans, who are you tipping to win this very one?
I'll go for Morocco, Mike. It's not about me being sentimental here, but I'll go for Morocco. At least if he wins this one, if Morocco wins this one, it's also a glory for Africa. To say at this point in time. Take a look at it. On paper, so many persons might give it to, Argentina. But when you take a look at the run of Morocco so far, they've taken down about 2 or 3 heavyweights, in this competition. Brazil and as well France, which actually beat, to qualify for the final. So, with that, you want to give them that, benefit of a doubt that they can get the job done against Argentina. Though, if you take a look at the Argentine side, impressive run in the group stage. We also saw them putting up some high level of performance, down to the final of the competition. Of course, you see they're very, very, huge side, of course, to reckon with. They play fast, very fast, football. So I just hope that, Morocco will just be able to try their best. They've, struggled to get to this stage of the competition. And with this, I just hope that, they will maybe do more than what, they've done so far, in the competition against Argentina to get this one. This is the first time they're qualifying for the Under-20, World Cup final.
Yeah.
So getting to the final and winning it, this will be a huge, history for them. And I believe they know what is at stake. So they'll be ready to go all out for this one.
Talking about the Argentine, they have won the competition on a record 6 occasion. In that very one, the Atlas clubs made history to qualify for their first final, a third African country after Ghana and Nigeria did so. France and Colombia will play their third place playoff on Saturday, October 18th. In that very one, we'll see how it pans out. But then we are drumming our support for Morocco because you know why? They are our brother, and of course, wish that they could get. This very one. Meanwhile, Portugal and Al Nassr striker Cristiano Ronaldo is on the verge of achieving a milestone. No male footballer has ever reached 1,000 career goals, according to Sky Sports on Wednesday, following his recent brace against Hungary in the World Cup qualifiers. The Portuguese legend has now scored a staggering 948 goals across club and international competitions, 805 at club level and 143 for Portugal. He also became the all-time leading scorer in the World Cup qualifying history, surpassing Carlos Ruiz on 39, with Lionel Messi third in the list on 36. Ronaldo turned 40 in February, but he continued to rack up impressive numbers at club level as well as international level. Albeit against a weaker opposition in Saudi Arabia, where he has scored 104 goals in 117 appearances across 4 seasons with Al Nassr. This man, Kingsley, if we want to go through his biography and talk about him, his achievement, the record-breaking, that he's been, doing, time might not permit us to go through all of that. But then, do you think that Cristiano Ronaldo can hit that 1,000 goal, target that he's chasing before he retires?
I think for me he can. When you take a look at it, 948 goals scored already. I think he has, just about 52 goals, to complete that one, as it stands. So don't forget, I think he still has about 2-year contract with Al Nassr. And he'll be heading down to the World Cup, of course, with Portugal. And we don't know that. We don't really know. Maybe after 2 years, if he will retire, because he said he's here to stay. He's going to play for a very, very long time. So I think it's something he can achieve. the season is still on at Anasa. You never can tell if you can bang in like 30 goals this season alone. You force, and then you give him more chance maybe at the World Cup, and then you talk about maybe some other friendly games that will come in, and next season, of course, for him at Anasa. Definitely, I think for me, in the space of 2 years, Ronaldo should be able to score 52 goals, and of course, put up that impressive record. When you talk about goal scoring, I think it's something he's used to. All right, he's been scoring and scoring, so it's something Ronaldo is addicted to himself. If he doesn't score, he becomes so angry. You know him. Is one man that always like hitting the target. Whenever he's not performing well, he's not himself, and he wants to be, in the faces of people. So I believe with this, Ronaldo can definitely achieve this on 52 goals. I believe in the space of 2 years, all right, if not less than that, he can achieve it.
Very much possible. The man, record breaker, chasing yet another target of trying to hit the 1,000 goal margin in the history of football. Nobody, no player, that ever reached that milestone. But this man is just 52 goals away from hitting that mark. And of course, just like you heard from Kingsley, is one man that is a goal getter. Give him the next 2 years. Yes, he might just, if he remained 100% fit, accomplish that mission. But then, in the evening when we make a return, we'll take you through club football, because like we told you, that the club football is set to make a return this weekend, starting from tonight, when we make a return in the evening, 6 p.m. We'll take you through some of the fixtures, and of course, we'll give you some other gist coming from the UEFA Champions League, the women version. I did a show this morning alongside Kingsley Emmanuel. My name is Emmanuel Michael, and we're saying have a very nice day ahead.